snap. Chill out, bro. Don't want anybody to see that I'm wearing Crocs. Interesting sausage. I'd call that a success.
Hey team, welcome back to the channel. Today's episode is called Crayfish, Snapper and Pāua, a great West Auckland catch and cook adventure. And it goes a little bit like this. I loaded up the mud wagon up to the teeth with everything that I could possibly need for an epic day's adventuring, and I started making my way out west. My first stop on the way out there was, of course, at Manganui Ice, where I need to get all iced up and ready for the mish. G'day.
Hey buddy. There we go team. Iced up for the mish. Cheers Manganui Ice. Right, let's go.
Straight back into the mud wagon and on the road I went, but not for long, because you can't go past the Cooper's Beach Butchery without stopping in to get some steak, cheese and jalapeno sausages.
Hiya.
Where are you fishing today?
West Auckland.
I'm just on my way out. Can I please get 8 of the beef jalapeno and cheese?
Yeah.
Mean, thank you very much. Have a good day.
My lovey. Don't catch 2 blades.
Will do.
So the epic adventure plan for today goes a little bit like this. I'm going to be meeting up with Andrew from Archibald's and a bunch of his mates, and Kine Machine as well, who you guys know has been in a bunch of episodes. Now, the whole lot of us are going to be heading out on an awesome 4-wheel driving adventure with the use of some really cool gear today. We're going to have some awesome Polaris vehicles to be taking us on a 4-wheel driving adventure. We're going to go to an awesome beach location first of all and set a kontiki, and after that we're going to do a bit of fishing and also jump in the water for a dive.
Yeah, good.
Good to see you, Andrew.
Yeah, you too. How's it going?
Good.
My dog, Sophie.
Sophie, mean. There's a dog to pet. Even better. Always pet the dog. Oh man. Oh, true. How's it? Holy. All the giwas stacked on there. Torpedo on top even. Good to go. Alright.
Let's go.
Rightio.
Once all the introductions had been done and all of the gear was loaded into the Polaris vehicles, we all jumped in our respective vehicles for the day and hit the beach. It was a bit of an adventure to get to our first fishing spot today, as the tide was still pretty high, but nothing that these awesome vehicles couldn't handle.
Alright. Let's go.
The views out this way are absolutely stunning, and it's always nice to see a few of these locals out and about too. And what better way to see it than from the comfort of an awesome 4-wheel drive vehicle. These Polarises are awesome. Even Sophie was having the best day out, and it didn't take too long until we were arriving at our awesome first fishing spot for the day.
Yeah. Quinn's on, he's on. Might be a snapper. That was my one, I reckon. Kahi. Shot, bro. Yeah. shot, bro. Brother Quinn's on the board. Alright team, a bit of that beautiful fresh kahawai that Quinn just caught for bait. Simple as rig. Fire that out.
It's usually pretty good on the sides of those reefs, when you get the outgoing tide.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good trevally and shit there.
We managed a couple of good sized kahawai on the rods, but other than that it was pretty quiet, so we decided to fire out their insurance policy, which is of course the Seahorse Kontiki, with 25 fresh baits on the Kontiki and it going out about a K. It stands a far better chance than we do on the rods of catching a few fish in these bright clear conditions.
On. Another kahi probably. Yep. We'll take him, bro.
We sent the Kontiki all the way out and continued fishing with our surf casters. Everything was quiet for a little while and then all of a sudden, wha-bam! Andrew's rod doubled over.
Quinn says stingray. I say shark. What do the boys reckon?
Oh, yeah, looks sharky.
Sharky?
Yeah.
Mud marlin.
Mud marlin?
Yeah. Big shark.
Yeah. Okay. Bit of a split field. We'll see. He's on though. He's on. Yeah. Mean.
So, lucky undies.
The old lucky undies.
Oh, there it is now.
Just roll them over. Just let them relax a little bit.
Turns out it was indeed a little mud marlin. Now these guys aren't any trouble. You just roll them over, gently whip that hook out and then pop them back. They're pretty cool really, and they put up a mean fight. I certainly for one don't mind catching the odd one of these. Not too long after that though, we got a visit from some other wildlife, just wandering down to the beach for a bit of a dip. Some of the local seahorses.
So the longline's had a pretty good soak. It's been out there for about 45 minutes, and we've decided to pull it in. So here come the first few crimps. The hooks will be not too far behind. I like to go down and meet them at the water's edge if there's something to meet. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. First hook still has its bait on it. It's not a good sign. Second hook, it has been bitten, but no fish. Hopefully the diving goes well, because there's not much on here yet. We did bring sausages as a backup plan, so there's always sausages. Oh yep, I can see a red coming in the surf here. We've got a small one up the front, we've got a couple of fish here, it's good. There we go. There's one little fella, and here comes the better fish. These are the ones they're after. Here we go. There's a decent snap. Another one out there. Kahawai. You take that as well. Another kahawai there, look at that. Chill out, bro. It's actually a really good sized fish. We'll take it. Land.
Check out how epic this rig is. These things are so cool. It was so much fun to get boosted around in one of these things for the day. So perfect for these kinds of missions. I had an absolute blast. If any of you guys do want to get your hands on one of these awesome vehicles, perfect for these kinds of off-road missions, talk to the good people at Archibald Cars. They'll see you right. Anyway, onwards we went. We went a long way further down the coast looking for a good spot where we could jump in for a bit of a dive.
Suspension on this is crazy. Right, in there. Pretty epic in the old Polaris, being able to get to spots like this. Not half bad.
And in no time at all, we had arrived at a pretty primo looking spot. We thought it looked pretty ideal for a dive here. So we had a quick snack and then it was time to strip down, get suited up and get in the water.
Right, in there. I don't want anybody to see that I'm wearing Crocs. I'm just walking over this way because I can sort of see a little bit of a spot that I want to hop in. Hopefully I'm not wrong. Looks alright. Right. This looks like a bit of me. Perfect.
I was feeling pretty good to be back in the water. It had been about a month since my last dive at this stage, so it was really nice to be back in the sea. It didn't take me too long to settle in either. Even after being a little bit out of practice, I sort of started to feel quite comfortable in the water quite quickly. My lungs stretched out nicely and I was sort of in the zone. Visibility was medium today, but it was more than enough to gather a feed. I was hoping to shoot some fish, but to be fair, it was pretty quiet on the fish front, so I turned my attention towards shellfish and of course a beautiful crayfish, hopefully. After quite a bit of mooching around, I do manage to track down a nice blackfoot Pāua, so I bump that off the rock and give it a quick measure up on my gun. My gun's got this handy measurer along the side of it, which I use on occasion. I also have a Pāua knife in my float boat that I use to pop them off sometimes, and that's got a measure on the side of it too. I pop that in the float boat and carry on, and it's not too long until I spot another one.
Quinn, Pāuas. Cool.
Once I've got my first legal Pāua and given it a measure up, my iometer is usually pretty good, but you can never trust your iometer. So I've gone back to the float boat, grabbed my Pāua tool and give these guys all a quick measure up to make sure they're all in, and these ones are all beauties, so in the float boat they go.
Oh well, pretty beautiful but unsuccessful. Try another spot. Oh well, not a complete down trail, not too bad. Beautiful dive, just pretty barren. What sausages did you go with? Did you guys have some?
Oh yeah, there's just Archie had some there and
Oh yeah.
just heaps bro.
Well, we had a whole heap as well.
Oh yeah.
And then we've got sausages coming out our ears.
Got a whole bunch of chunks there.
Man, that's what's awesome to get out from a dive. Oh, excellent. Alright. A bit of chutney there. Boom. That looks like an interesting sausage. Go with that red one. Oh. Yum. Lunch of champions. Alright. We're on the road again.
That first dive was awesome. The sausages were delicious, but we decided we wanted to get a little bit more kai for the table. So we decided we're going to have another crack at the diving. So we stayed in our wetsuits and loaded everything back into the Polarises and four-wheel drove our way all the way up to the next posse where we were going to jump back in and have another crack. Alright team, another location, jump back in for another dive, see if we can do a little bit better at this posse. As soon as I jumped in, I noticed that this place had some way better structure, and it didn't take too long until I found this nice buck crayfish in this crack. So I snuck in nice and slow and wha-bam, took my shot, and I managed to get a good hold of both of his antlers and whip him out of his hole. Absolutely fizzing at the bung to have one of these. I love crayfish and I haven't had one for quite a while, so pretty stoked. I made my way back over to the float boat to secure him, and I yelled out to Quinn just to let him know that I'd found a little patch that might be holding a few more crays, so he could come over and have a look too. Into the float boat he goes. After that success and that rush of finding that first legal red crayfish, I was pretty excited, so I put in a pretty good effort and kept mooching around for quite a while. Unfortunately, all I could find were a bunch of little packy crays, and I did find a kinner too, so I popped that in the float boat. But after that, I pretty much decided to call it. It was pretty cold, and I was ready for a rest.
That was pretty good. Got a cray. The boys are still having a bit of a flap around out there. But I'm going to head back in. Mean. Good mission. Alright. Bit of a catch reveal. A few good kinners. Managed to find one decent bug. It's the only decent red I saw down there. But he's a nice male, well and truly legal, good fish. And some beautiful Pāua. Can't complain with that. Beautiful. Job done. Time for a brewski. Time for a lemonade.
I was pretty stoked to see that the rest of the boys had the fire going by the time I got out of the water, so that was nice to warm up. And not too long later, the other two divers made their way back to shore. Quinn having had a reasonable amount of success, managing to get another two nice crayfish, a few more Pāua, and some good sized kinner too. So we set ourselves up next to the fire, warmed up, chucked on a hot plate, and prepared to cook ourselves a bit of a snack. Snack time.
Yeah, I'll try. I'm not really. I've never.
I don't mind that.
Oh my god.
I want to say a massive thank you to Andrew and the good team at Archibald Cars and also at Family Finance for being the major sponsor of Muddy Feet, hooking me up with the epic mud wagon for the last year, and also putting together this awesome trip and allowing us to use their awesome Polarises for this awesome mission. I hope you guys have all enjoyed this week's episode as much as I've enjoyed making it. And remember, always pet the dog. Little cutie and Sophie. If you want to get your hands on one of these awesome Polaris vehicles, talk to the good people at Archibald Cars in Kaitaia.